Hello everybody, welcome back to Olivia's Daily Devotionals 2022, and today's topic is Agents of Satan. Satan uses men and women as agents to solicit the sin and make it attractive. These agents he faithfully educates to do so, disguise sin, that he can more successfully destroy souls and rob Christ of his glory. Satan is the great enemy of God and man. He transforms himself through his agents into angels of light. In the scriptures, he is called a destroyer, an accuser of the brethren, a deceiver, a liar, a tormentor, and a murderer. Satan has many in his employ, but he is most successful when he can use professed Christians for his satanic work. And the greater their influence, the more elevated their position. The more knowledge they profess of God in His service, the more successfully can He use them. Whoever entices the sin is His agent. As we near the close of Earth's history, perils and dangers thicken around us. A mere profession of godliness will not avail. There must be a living connection with God, that we may have spiritual eyesight to discern the wickedness which is in a most artful and secret manner creeping into our midst through those who make a profession of our faith. The greatest sins are brought in through those who profess to be sanctified and claim they cannot sin. Yet many of this class are sinning daily and are corrupt in heart and life. Such are self-sufficient and self-righteous, making their own standard of righteousness, and utterly failing to meet the Bible standard. Notwithstanding their high claims, they are strangers to the covenant of promise. It is in great mercy that God bears with their perversity, and that they are not cut down as cucumbers of the ground, but still remain within the possibilities of forgiveness. The forbearance of God is continually presumed upon, and His mercy abused. David in his day taught that men had exceeded the boundaries of the long suffering of God, and that He must interfere to vindicate His honor and restrain unrighteousness. Imagine there is a teacher or pastor or priest of doctrines that defile the temple of God. There is scarcely a ray of hope for him. He has deceived himself and deluded others so long that Satan has almost entire control of his mind and body. If his professed robe of righteousness can be torn from him, and his wild purposes and thoughts be exposed, so that he will not continue to lead others in the paths of hell, it will be all we may expect. The warnings of God he first hated and then resisted, because they brought his own wicked course to be seen in the light of God's law. It is one of the saddest evidences of the blinding influence of sin that months and years roll on and there is no awaking to repentance. With a firm persistence, he has pursued his downward course. He has no bitter feelings of remorse, no dread of heaven's vengeance. If by lies and deception he can cover his sins from observation, he is content. All sense of right and wrong is dead within him. A harvest is before him that he will be horrified to reap. The worst feature in this case is that all his satanic work is done under pretense of being a representative of Jesus Christ. One sinner dressed up as an angel of light can do incalculable harm. Dark and fearful plans are deliberately made to separate man and wife. Said the apostle, of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. 2 Timothy 3:6. These licentious characters even creep into respectable families and by their deceptive wiles and intrigues lead astray the conscienceless, damnable heresies are received as truth, and the most revolting sins committed as acts of righteousness, for conscience becomes confused and stupefied. In this degenerate age, many will be found who are so blinded to the sinfulness of sin that they choose a licentious life because it suits the natural and perverse inclination of the heart, instead of facing the mirror the law of God, and bringing their hearts and characters up to God's standards, they allow Satan's agents to erect his standard in their hearts. Corrupt men think it is easier to misinterpret the scriptures to sustain them in their iniquity than to yield up their corruption and sin and be pure in heart and life. Unless they are rooted and grounded in the truth of the Bible and have a living connection with God, many will be infatuated and deceived. Dangers unseen beset our path. Our only safety is in constant watchfulness and prayer. The nearer we live to Jesus, the more we will partake of His pure and holy character. And the more offensive sin appears to us, the more exalted and desirable will appear the purity and brightness of Christ. Thanks for watching today's video. May God bless you all. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.